Welcome to the RPG Podcast.
And we are live.
Oh, God, Patton!
Presented by SHEATH. A Time Wheel production.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing podcast. I wanted to do a little preemptive prologue, talk about this guy, Mr. Cameron Davies. Loving the energy off this guy. We really bonded, found out we had a lot in common on a spiritual kind of social level. Both of us really want to share everything that we are being blessed with those around us and those we can reach through, social media and whatnot. Just everybody, we seem to be trying to help people that are going for their dreams and reaching for the stars and whatnot, but keeping their head on the ground, as Casey Kasem would say. Good people going for their dreams and being a inspiration and an example to other people that they can do it too. And so it's just really cool to have met Mr. Davies, Cameron, I like to call him. And we're definitely going to have to link up in person, maybe do a little training session. I'm going to fight Steven Samadi at a Davies gym. And check out daviesentertainment.com. The guy's got it going on. I'm really impressed. And it was an honor having him for the time that we did and really getting to know each other because we'd never been introduced until today. So I hope you enjoy this one. It was a special one for me. Peace. I'm very excited today. Probably one of our biggest, most exciting guests we've ever had on the podcast. No offense to any of the other guys, but this dude is killing it. If you look at his Instagram at Mr. Cameron Davies, he is all over the place. I don't even know how you're doing everything you're doing, but I'm really excited to talk to you because it looks like you're living the life, and we want to try to share that with the people and show them how to live the life. So thank you very much for joining me today. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
No, it's an honor. The honor is mine. We were introduced by a good friend of mine, Stephen Wiley, and we sponsor one of your fighters, Eddie Ortiz, I think.
Get back in the ring May 21st.
Yeah. And he's signed to your Davies Entertainment, right?
That's correct.
And so, I mean, honestly, I'm very curious how you, like, for your origin story, kind of, and is that, I hate to like put you on the spot right there, but can you tell us how you started all this? Because you're doing like 10 different projects, but
yeah, man. It started a while back. I had a company called 210 Customs, and we were building cars for NFL athletes.
Ooh.
And I was a bad businessman. I was young. They were in the league, out of the league, and went broke doing it. And there was a gentleman building food trucks, and I said, hey, let's kind of pimp the rides on these things, put some audio, video, some custom wheels, upholstery, things like that. Anyway, long story short, stiff me for some money. So I self-taught myself how to build mobile assets 10 years ago. Now we build more than anybody in the world. Always been a big fan of entertainment, both music driven and the boxing side. Tried to stay as fit as I could, and so I got into boxing just for the sheer love of it, and not only that, but to provide opportunity. I saw in San Antonio that these boxers just weren't getting the opportunity that was deserving. You had Eddie Ortiz, for example, who was a Olympic, U.S. champion, an amateur champion, national champion, and just not progressing how he should in his career. So I stepped up, and now we have 10 pro boxers, 4 musical artists, and over 100 employees. So it's pretty wild.
That is so cool. Because it's like you're doing the stuff that you want to do. It sounds like you probably got into customizing vehicles, maybe because that you found some interest in that. You love that, right? Mm-hmm. But what I find really cool is kind of similar between us, is we also sponsor fighters, and I like to get in and train also, and it's fun, so you're getting to make money, and you get to almost like play with these guys. You're having fun with them. I call just training to me it's fun. you know, and I see you out there.
It's a family atmosphere, you know, and I have a tattoo on my arm that says, "For without family, I am nothing," and that's how I live my life. But you know, I tell people the mental part helps the physical part. We have so much going on, you know, I'm working 100-hour weeks, but to get in that gym in the morning and be able to work out some of my guys just makes you feel that much better. And you know, probably the most rewarding part of the entertainment company right now is, you know, due to the pandemic, you know, entertainment was shut down. So we provided opportunity for all of our fighters and our artists to work through one of our entities, whether it's a print shop or, you know, manufacturing facility or the gym. But it's teaching them a life lesson because you can't box or you can't rap or you can't do, you know, stuff forever. So if you can teach them a life skill and they can still provide for their family during a pandemic, it was huge, man, and it was a cool experience.
I imagine that's rewarding. You're getting to feel that you're helping people, right?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty cool. You know, we help. We, you know, we give away more money. We make a year. Like I said, we provide a lot of opportunity for not only our people in our entertainment company, but also in our fabrication and other print shops and things like that, transportation. But you know, we build these companies so it can provide these opportunities. You know, not all of them are extremely profitable. You try to make it look like that on Instagram,
Yeah.
but you know, it's just at the end of the day, if I can break even and, you know, provide for their families, I'm cool with that.
That's like I feel very connected in a way by your response because, you know, we're doing very well as a company, Sheath, and it's cool to talk to another entrepreneur who's quote unquote killing it, and to see what you're trying to do with it. Like I could be rat holing all this money for myself, but I don't even really care that much. I have everything I want and need. I got my family and my house and my car, and I want to help people. That's what is kind of I'm drawn to, and it gives me more motivation, you know, to keep going hard.
It's funny, and that's what people were telling me when I told them I was going to do this podcast. It said that, you know, how similar we are, you know, and it's true. Look, man, I got a roof over my head. I got healthy kids. I got a, you know, beautiful wife. You know, I've got businesses, but I mean, I take a very modest salary. I put everything back into this company. I mean, we built a 73,000 square foot entertainment facility right in the midst of a pandemic. So a lot of these guys, you know, the boxers, for example, you know, these guys got to build the gym that they train in. And so we've got a state of the art workout facility with recovery and all that. But it means more to them because that's their house. You know, they built their house. You know, their blood, sweat, and tears are in that gym. They come in, and, you know, the cool thing about it is they can come in and do strength and conditioning in the morning. They can work here all day, and then they can do boxing at night. And it just keeps the mind right, you know, rather than going home and sitting around or having to drive to another town and work a job and then come back and get home late. It's everything is right there for them.
That's beautiful. It's like restructuring everything for maximum efficiency for their lives, so they can also have maybe a little bit of a life outside of work.
Yeah.
Also,
we're trying to do the whole Nipsey hustle, what he was doing on Crenshaw Boulevard here in San Antonio. So we've got, you know, our major facility for manufacturing, and then right down the street's the entertainment. And so, you know, it's cool to see a lot of these guys kind of rotate through and be right here, you know, and all be together and, you know, doing the things that we love to do.
it's so beautiful. That's so fun.
All while wearing comfortable ass underwear.
Hey, promo. I appreciate that. I saw you, you know, sporting them with the Rifts the other day, and that always like warms my heart when I hear someone else.
I wear them all the time. Eddie's my like delivery man. He's like my dope boy with underwear. Like I'll be in the gym working out, he'll come throw me a couple pairs, and so that's all I wear now.
I appreciate it. No, it's a beautiful thing. I got a really cool text this morning from Jacob Paraba from Iridium Sports. He represents Brandon Marino, who do you know who that is? The baby assassin.
Yeah.
I love him. And
wild man.
Yeah. And they were just telling me like he loves the underwear. He's like the most comfortable thing you've ever worn, and we're gonna do something with him on his next fight for the rematch for the title against whatever that dude's name was. But the other guy he's fighting is a bad mother also. But you know, we assumed, I can't think of his name.
I saw that y'all had a sheath for sheath. So two of your guys are that's probably a first, huh?
Yeah, we're sponsoring two different guys that are fighting each other. So that is a first, and hopefully the first of many. I asked Michael Bisping, name dropping, that to how we could get on the mat of the UFC, and just go straight to the source. And he's going to help kind of work that, because
Cool.
we've done some smaller organization for LFA, the Legacy Fighting Alliance, and we're on the mat and on the banners and posts and stuff, and it's just really cool to watch an event with your logo plastered all over.
Yeah, I mean, you see the fruit of your labor right there. Yeah, we're throwing, I think 4 or 5 shows by the end of the year, man. We need to talk on some stuff like that, give
Absolutely.
y'all some exposure on that.
Yes.
Because we control the ring and everything. But I'm all about proving myself first. Let you see it, let it pay off. Selling some underwear, and then we can come back. But yeah, I do appreciate all that y'all do for, the world of fighting.
I think it needs to be like spread out. Like the word needs to be spread about the benefits of fighting, training, because martial arts is a discipline, and it can provide a lot of value outside of the gym, in your whole life, and just overall well-being. I find that also, like when I started training, I was about 21, which I wish I had trained when I was a kid or whatever, but you get what you get. And I started walking differently. I was like, okay, I can wrap somebody up, and this is jujitsu. Now I'm doing boxing more because I'm older, and it's just, I really enjoy the cerebral aspect of boxing. People think it's for a bunch of brute animals, but there's actually a lot of mental, to the game.
There's a lot of finesse. And yeah, it's hard. People have no idea the type of shape that these professional athletes are in, whether it's MMA or boxing. It's a lifestyle. You got to eat right. You got to stay hydrated. You got to train. More than people. They just think that they train for a couple of weeks for a training camp, go right back in. That's bullshit. It's a complete lifestyle.
And they have to be at the tip top shape. And I love the mentality of a fighter. And I think like you and I maybe have that mentality towards business and life. It's that grind, that hustle, that every day wake up and, put everything towards this one goal. Although, which, for you seems to be spreading. I don't understand how you can do so many things. How are you doing so much?
Man, it's pretty wild right now. Controlling the process helps. On our TV show, we produce the entire TV show. So we have Final Cut. We do all the production, filming, sound mastering, everything. But I've got a great team. Marcus, who's my COO, is amazing. Then I've got Question, who runs, is president of Davies Entertainment. Brian Romero's, who is head of production for Davies Entertainment. And then I've got Clyde, who runs the boxing division, along with Ursula. And having the gym, a lot of it's just putting powerful people in place and allowing them to do the job. We used to hire just on sheer need, but Marcus, when he came in as COO, was like, hey, let's step back. Let's take some more time, a more calculated approach to hiring, and hire the best. So we can have one person doing multiple people's jobs, and it's really like you're paying the same money out of pocket. And so we've put director of operations in all of our positions. Josh Davies, who's no relation, does it for Cruising Kitchen. People think we're related. We just might as well just call each other brothers because it's the same last name. But runs he's director of operations at Cruising Kitchens. And once we finally streamlined all entities, it helped out. But I'll be straight up. The pandemic was eye opening, but it gave us time to kind of set back and restructure a lot of our entities. And in doing that, it made them run far more smoothly.
Yeah, we took that year and to solidify the brick, we call it, and just basically like make sure our foundation is solid, because we're growing at a rate that is absurd. I mean, we're like growing like tech company level.
Y'all, it's like overnight.
Yeah.
I remember when Eddie fought for the WBC US title. That was his first fight with us. And he went down to Austin. He said, I'm going to go to this photo shoot with Sheath. And I was like, hey, what's Sheath? And then he gave me a pair of underwear. I was like, dude, these are badass. And, that's when I first knew about y'all. So that was probably, not even 2 years ago. And now I see y'all everywhere.
It is so fun. I feel very blessed. And I try to stay grateful because, it's I feel like I was lucky in a way. Like, and it's like the ball was handed to me, I took it and ran with it. But I don't want to take it for granted.
But hard work outweighs luck.
Oh, yeah.
It's people. You have to have some bit of luck in business, no matter how good you are. But hard work, knowing the right people and just staying true to who you are, I think is one of the key factors. And that's what y'all have done.
Yeah.
And that's why we're so much alike.
Yeah. I mean, it did just come to me like through an idea, and people tell me they had, I had that idea, but it's about having the idea, taking it and, bringing it to fruition. Ideas are
Yep.
all day, every day, but what are you going
Mm-hmm.
to do and stick with? And it did take like 10 years, honestly, to get where, I mean, 2008 was when I had the idea. And then, so it's
Yeah.
13 years later, we're overnight success.
But that's what people always ask me, why do you have so many businesses? And it's like, look, I'll kick myself in the ass 15 years down the road if I get into something to a point in my life and I'm like, well, I didn't do that, but I had the opportunity to do it. But a lot of our entities start in house. Like our print shop started because the sheer need to have a print, to wrap all of our vehicles, because I was tired of being dictated on somebody's timeline. And then, we got recognition on that, and then we started doing all these corporate clients, wraps, and digital work. And then we needed a transportation side, so we started the transportation company, and then the entertainment side produces our show for Cruising Kitchens, but also produces our boxing matches and our concerts, and then just it goes on and on and on like that. The medical side, we needed to do COVID testing for some of our boxers fighting during the pandemic, and it was hell to do. So we started a medical company that's gone kind of bananas. We're doing stuff all over, but just all feeds off each other.
You're like the Elon Musk of San Antonio. I'm sure you've heard that.
I wish I had that money, No, I'm good. I am content. I truly do, both in all entities. It's run like a family. I am so lucky to be surrounded by the talented people that I have. And it's cool. You'll have somebody who welds, you'll have somebody who wraps a vehicle, somebody who's medical, you'll have a boxer, an artist, and they're all in the same room, just jiving with each other, and just they're just. It's honestly the biggest compliment I get. People walk our facilities, and you have to come check it out.
I do. Please,
next
time I come to San Antonio, I got to come by. But
yeah, we're putting kind of this MTV Cribs video together. But anyway, when they leave, it's always like, look, man, you've inspired me to want to be a better person and give back. But the biggest compliment is how happy our staff is, and it's not like I prompt them and say, hey, look, when they walk in, act like you're. No, I don't do that bullshit. I don't even tell them when people are coming through, because I don't want them to act different. I want them to be true to who they are. And that's, everybody leaves like, dude, your crews are so fucking happy. And I'm like, because we treat them like family,
100%. We just opened up a warehouse in Fort Worth, and my whole team came to just witness it and meet the people that are going to be running the warehouse. And the people running the warehouse were just like, man, your team is awesome. And they're so, they're very happy. We've never had anyone quit. Because they're hopeful, they see the potential of growing with this company, and I kind of sell that to them. It's selling hope, and it's working because the hope is turning into it's coming true. Every time we every time we look up, we're breaking another record. And I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Steven, who set this up. He's kind of who you've been talking to. He's like our hype man, and all our meetings, he's like 10 racks a day, 10,000 a day, but actually a rack is $10,000. So he's really saying $100,000 a day. And we're like inching towards those numbers, and
that's fucking awesome, man. And that's just, it's a dream.
It is. And so, but then, I have these conversations. Well, what do you want to do with it? And we help like animals. We do that. And I like to help disabled people, kids primarily, but also then just everyone around you, our family, our friends, the people that have been helping me, and fighters, people pursuing their dreams. Yeah. Let's get them what they need to, just be able to take care of themselves and pursue that vision, because sometimes it can get.
We're so alike in that sense, man.
I don't know why. But why more people? What are you going to do with the money? You're going to put it in the bank?
But that's where I'm at. It's like, hey, Cameron, I told him when I filled up this big 64,000 square foot shop, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to sell it. Now I got this, and the one down the street that's 73, and I don't want to sell it. I have opportunity to sell, but like, what am I going to do? Sell my soul to the devil, have a bunch of money, and be miserable? I love coming to work. I love being around the best people in the world. Like, What the fuck else am I going to do? Why would I? What does a bunch of zeros in my bank account mean if I don't have this? This is what I live for.
100,000%. People are like telling me to sell Sheath, and how much would you sell it for? I was like, it would have to be the most absurd number because I love my team. I love what I do. And then what am I going to do? Go sit on a beach?
Yeah.
I want to keep working. I like working. This podcast is brought to you in part by ohanakavabar.com. Now, Ohana means family. But what is kava? Kava is a root from the South Pacific. It makes you calm and happy. Just go to ohanakavabar.com. Choose your favorite brew. They have many to choose from with more on the way. And I personally like the tincture. It tastes good. It gets you quick and you're calm and relaxed in a moment. It cools and calms the nerves. Some call it an herbal Xanax. I think it's quite fine, and I think you'll like it. Let them know we sent you. Support this podcast by supporting our sponsors and support this company. It's run by a fine gentleman who worked in the nursing profession for 15 years before he finally was able to break away from the chains of the 9 to 5 and start his own company. He takes pride. He loves it. He drinks it every day. I love it. I use it all the time. And I think you will too. So go to ohanakavabar.com. Use promo code SHEATH. You're going to love it. Doesn't taste that great, but chase it with a nice pineapple. You will not be disappointed. Trust me on that. ohanakavabar.com. Ohana's family. Use promo code SHEATH. You're welcome. Our next ad is for another plant medicine, if you will. It's called Kratom, and you can get it at soapcorner.com. SOAP corner with a K.com. Go to soapcorner.com. Use promo code SHEATH. And of course, last but not least, sheathunderwear.com. The greatest underwear on the planet. The underwear of legends. The underwear that keeps your balls from sticking to your legs. That's right. This is the best underwear because it keeps your boys cool. Check out sheathunderwear.com. Back to the show. I like the grind. I like producing. I like, the journey,
Yeah, and see, I'm lucky because through the boxing events and through some of the entertainment driven stuff and through filming the TV show, I mean, I get to travel to cool places to do the reveals for the show or do boxing matches. I was with Eddie and the guys in LA in the pandemic. Chris Pearson's fighting for a world title this Saturday on DAZN in Miami. I mean, it's just we get to go to a bunch of cool places and do cool shit, but it's through work,
Yep.
and then try to carve out some family time while we're there and make a trip of it.
Yeah, one of the cool things we got to do is go to the BMF Ranch, which sounds like you're building your own version of. I'm sure you're familiar with the BMF Ranch. Donald Cerrone? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, Donald Cerrone is one of my favorite fighters, if not my favorite fighters ever. He was in San Antonio. I have to tell you a story about that off record, right? About to come out and fight, I think it was Ben Henderson.
Ooh.
And I got in a fight in the stands, and they actually ended up not letting them go out and turn it on. And it wasn't my fault. Somebody had done something to my wife, and walking by, and I jawed him, and then it was kind of crazy. They dragged me down, but I'll have to tell you more about that story. But that was Cowboy Cerrone. But man, that guy's a fucking legend.
Yeah, I'm glad we linked up with him, and we're just trying to link up with the baddest motherfuckers. Period.
Yep.
People that
you're doing a good job of that.
Thank you. It's just people I like, and I look, and I like that guy. Let's reach out to him. And since Cowboy, honestly, everyone is like, well, he works with Cowboy. He's got to be good. And almost anyone will take our call these days. So that's a pretty fun feeling.
But like I said, you've seen y'all's footprint, y'all's platform grow, and not only by the quality of the product, but also the people that you have. I mean, it's just you do a very good job telling your your story on Instagram and things like that without, without, I mean, you do it without losing engagement. I mean, it's engaging, the stuff y'all post and what y'all do. Like, I thought it was genius the other day putting the two of y'all's, athletes were fighting against each other. I mean, who else is a sponsor that can say, "Hey, I sponsor guys on both sides"? I think that's the coolest shit ever.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, you're providing a lot of that opportunity for those two guys to fight. So that's got to make you feel good.
It's very rewarding. And again, like, I just try to stay grateful for it all. And it's hard not to be grateful. I mean, but I guess you can get bogged down in some bullshit argument with someone and, but or my tooth, my fucking tooth fell out. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm rich. What the fuck is happening? And they're like, it's a process. So we're getting it fixed.
Yeah.
But
it's funny. So I had two of my side teeth that were out, and you can't tell until I would laugh or do some shit. And I remember seeing it on TV one time, and I was like, all right, babe, it's about fucking time. I've played this shit for too long. So I had to go in and do all this cosmetic and dental work, and I hate the dentist, but I got it done. And so I'm glad to get that, behind me.
I think we've all dealt with it. So I don't give myself too much of a hard time about it, but and everyone's like, dude, you're rocking it, you look like a fighter. I'm like,
yeah, fucking character. Own it.
Yeah, I'm just, I gotta own it. But it's been like over a year now, and we've had some complications, but it's all good.
Just get a gold one.
Totally, we are the same. You and I are totally the same.
Get a grill,
That's what I mean. Riff Raff is another guy we sponsor, and he
Riff Raff.
Yeah, I've actually been talking to his grill maker because I'm talking about getting a grill, at least for fun.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I grew up, I'm 43. I mean, I grew up listening to like NWA and all of the.
I did too.
Yeah. So.
Where are you from originally?
I mean, I was born in San Antonio, but I grew up like in middle Georgia / Southern California.
I had no idea you were born in San Antonio. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I left early. I left when I was like 9. Divorced.
Yeah, I love San Antonio. That's where we're at, and it's awesome. But I grew up listening to all that H-Town rap, and then NWA, Too Short, like all those guys.
Yeah, and it models what you think is cool, and I think Black culture is awesome. I mean, they're like, you're racist because you're white. I'm like, fuck you. Anyways, we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what the good thing right here. We got all colors, races, size, shapes, a little bit of everything. So
yeah, same here, and it's a beautiful thing. We're all coming together. It's a melting pot, baby. This is America. Let's melt, and we can. I'm not going to culturally appropriate if I'm wearing a grill. I just think it's cool. Get off my back. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I like, people sometimes comment about like some bullshit on our Instagram, and I'll be like, fuck you. Like, don't bring that shit around here.
Off? It's a bunch of keyboard typing, behind a computer screen with a fucking fake name. It pisses me off. It's like, we built this van for Xavier. The gentleman was doing no arms and no hip joints, stuff like that. We donated the van to him. He works here now. He's the biggest badass ever. And this piece of shit put a comment on there. And I'm just like, man, you've got to be the most worthless, sour son of a bitch to do something. But I see stuff like that. But, it's like I tell my guys, definitely when we're on TV, there's comments that come out. Like, we build the best quality product out there. We give back. And they're like, God, this motherfucker. And I said, just let him fry himself. And I love watching it, because then that guy, we don't even do it, but he starts getting crucified by people that are followers or fans or family. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, let him hang himself,
Yeah.
I mean, why do you feel obligated to get on somebody's social platform and type something? I would just never do it.
They just have miserable lives, most likely, and misery loves company, and they're trying to bring us down with them, but I'm not going to let them. We're staying positive.
But you still want to kick their ass.
A little bit. We'll take them in the ring and settle it. I wish, when I was a kid, I settled a lot of my differences through fighting. And then we were friends. It was settled.
Yep.
We didn't keep fighting forever. We fought the one time, and then we're like,
or pull out guns. Or I got scars all over me from fighting back in the day. Never did it in the ring, but but now it's just it's scary. You get in a fight and you got to worry about, guns and knives and shit like that.
Exactly. So I'm the first move of a martial artist, walk away or whatever. Not that I'm a martial artist, but I try to have that mentality or whatever.
Yeah.
I try to be a martial artist. And I was going to this gym, Victory MMA, shout out Victory MMA, Gilbert Smith, a former UFC fighter, and he's a great coach here in Colorado Springs. And I was going
Yeah.
twice a week before the pandemic, and then I stopped and actually moved like an hour away. So now I'm in a country mountain town with no gym. But I practice here, and I have a couple, one fighter, Dylan King, he comes up and trains me a couple times as often as he can. A week is what we try for.
Yeah.
But so I watched The Office. I don't know if you've ever watched that show. You probably don't have time to watch TV, I imagine.
No, I do. I watch it. I'm more like I kind of study reality TV because we do it. So I watch a lot of the build show type stuff and figure out how we can shoot better things. And then I watch every sporting event. I'm a big sports guy. So I love, I even like watching golf, but boxing, MMA. I don't miss a boxing or MMA fight.
Yeah, I'm all
I can't wait for the world to open back up so we can get back out to going to them.
100%. We'll have to. I would love to hang out. We'll have to go to something one time.
When you do that.
We just, speaking of reality shows, my last interview was with Wayne. He was on Forged in Fire, and he won. He won that show.
I watched that show.
Yeah, he won. He was pretty awesome, and he's making a sword out of meteorite for Dan Bilzerian. We were talking about that, which people.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
People have some mixed feelings about Dan, but you gotta admit he's living the dream. At least it would seem that way, and it's probably true. But so that's cool, and I'm really honored to have you come on here and be able to talk to some pretty cool people. And I know we're getting Bryce Mitchell pretty soon, and that'll undefeated 14-0 lightweight in the UFC. I was supposed to get Cerrone. He's hard to tackle.
He's all over the place. Cowboys, man. I follow him on Instagram as well, and he's all over the place. But he's doing good for himself, man.
Yeah. He's parlaying.
That's one guy who will fight anybody.
Yeah,
he's like Chuck Liddell back in the day,
And we got him at like a crazy time in his fighting career because like we signed him and then he fought and I guess he was always fighting all the time, but like back to back to back 5 fights in a row, and unfortunately he lost most of them. But he
took him,
he keeps coming back, and he keeps his chin high. He's building up the BMF ranch. We're doing a collaborative design for Sheath. It's like BMF Sheath collab like we did with Riff Raff. And as I'm looking at you, I feel like your mind for design is strong when I look at the cars and whatnot.
Dude, I would love to do something together,
we should.
Man. I mean, for real.
Like in 2022, something just like start those engines, because I'm just your whole the backdrop and everything I see everything is really strategically designed, it seems.
Oh, this isn't anything. You got to come down here. I say paint's dead. Everything in all these facilities is it's all wrap. Yeah, but it's cool, man. I think there's just so many synergies that we share, and I'd love to get you to San Antonio, maybe come in for one of our fights, and then just kind of we'll chop it up and figure out how to find a way to do something cool together.
For sure, that will definitely happen. That cannot not happen. And my mom lives there, so I'll and my whole team, and for the most part, is in San Antonio, and I come pretty frequently. It's just with the pandemic, I hadn't come as often, but I'm going to try to. I got all these points, just fly in, every other month.
Come on, we're right at the airport. I'll pick you up, and then show you the facilities, and then you get your mom. Your mom still lives in San Antonio. You said,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. So, but I don't want to keep you too long. I'm going to keep you to the 45-minute, if that's okay. But I want to, do you have any books or that you've read that kind of helped you get to where you are, or did you just do it all?
And I just did it by, I tell people I'm more street smart than educated through like a university. I went to Baylor for a couple of years, never went to class, did more of the party side, but it taught me a valuable lesson. And it's like, you got to work hard. I've mowed yards since I was 11 years old. I've just always been an entrepreneur and driven. You know, I don't like to sit at home on my ass. I always got to be going. But no, more than anything, it's been trial by fire.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You live and you learn, I think, by mistakes.
I mean, and these principles,
Yeah,
these principles that are in these books they came from people just doing them naturally. And a lot of, like, one of the books I reference a lot is called Think and Grow Rich. Highly recommend it. He interviewed like Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell, Henry Ford, like all these people back in Andrew Carnegie back in the day, John D. Rockefeller, like what made them different. And he basically boiled down 17 success principles, but they were already doing them. And it sounds like you just have that in you naturally, kind of. And it's like Rich Dad Poor Dad, that book. So you haven't, but you're like the rich dad, and the poor dad is actually the guy that's going to the job and he got the college education, but it's like, if all your life consists of is, and no disrespect to anyone out there, but just, going to work every day, 9 to 5, and
the same shit.
Yeah.
And it's just a routine. That's what's great about here, is it's something different every single day. And look, man, we were broke 10 years ago. We couldn't even pay the rent at our apartment. My wife and I had to borrow money from her parents to, pay our rent at our apartment. It's like $900 that month.
Beautiful.
And we've come a long way, but you don't get there by yourself. Mm-hmm. It's a crew, a team, and a family that get you there. And I have been like you. I have been extremely blessed to just surround myself with some of the most talented people that are passionate about the brands that they're trying to build. And so it's almost like they work for it like it's theirs, because there's incentive to it, And, I tell them all the time, do the TV show. I get a lot of the credit for these mega builds that we do. But I tell my whole crew, we have a production meeting every Monday morning. And I tell them, one, attitudes are contagious, and I love them. And all the credit for all this cool shit that we get to do goes to these men and women, because they're the ones on the floor constructing these things. Now, obviously, they don't have the stress that I have trying to keep it all together, but they're grinding and making it all come together.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, you couldn't do it without your team. I couldn't do it without my team. There's so much work to be done that it would be impossible for one man to do it, and you can't just pay people to do it. They have to own it themselves. Yeah. Another good book, Extreme Ownership, by whatever the fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like Marcus, who's our COO, is also vice president of Cruising Kitchens, but he comes from an entertainment background. And there was a time recently where he was like, man, look, we have this huge ghost kitchen client. We're building all these kitchen trays for him, and that's Marcus's project. And he's like, dude, I feel like I'm letting you down because all my time's dedicated to this. And I'm like, Marcus, first of all, you're not letting anybody down. You're providing all this opportunity, because what you're doing is paving the way, which is helping build a new facility and do things like that and provide opportunities for athletes and artists. And when he kind of thought about that, he stepped back, and it's been cool, man, to see what he's done through that project, which has allowed a lot of the growth through all of our entities.
Exactly. They don't even know sometimes how valuable they are. My COO is just like, I call him the Hand from Game of Thrones. Like, I'm the king. But he does everything. Like, and I guess ultimately I deal with the stress of keeping it all together. I guess I am kind of like a little puppet master, because I'm like, okay, you do that. But I delegate everything. Like, I get to do this. I make decisions on designs, and I design myself also. But
that's badass. But delegating, that is, so you kind of asked like how I hold it all together, but what filming has taught me, because it carves out a lot of time out of the day, the days we're filming, is you have to delegate that task. So it taught me to delegate tasks and give up some of that power, which is hard at times, because I started this with just me and one other guy.
Wow.
And then, we've grown and grown and grown, but it's like, you've got to finally feel comfortable giving up that power. And then once you do, it's kind of like, the elephant's off your chest. You can breathe, you can concentrate on, growing in your brands in the way that you want them to go.
Yeah, we had to do that recently. It's like finding pressure points where I'm spending too much time dealing with. I was getting customer service emails for a while, and I would, instead of passing it off, I would just do it, and they were like, "Don't do that. Like, just pass it off."
You have no fucking clue how alike we are. So 3 months ago, finally, I told Josh, who's our director of operations, I was like, dude, because I always had the info at Cruise and Kitchen, so I'm the same fucking way. I don't want to see it, but then I want it, and then I'd feel it, But so I finally said, hey, look, we gotta delegate this email to somebody else, because I was like you, I didn't want to give up the small things, but it was wasting a lot of my time,
Yes.
So we're so much alike in that
That's
sense.
awesome. I love that. That's funny. Yeah, and I am kind of removed a lot from my team, which is why I kind of cherish the times we're together. We get together like once a month. We'll do a trip here or there, wherever. They'll come up here. But you get to live with them, pretty much on the daily, and work out with them, and that's just it. Just seems like you're living the life. I was like, this dude's living the fucking dream.
Well, it's cool. I think that my favorite part of the day is, I don't get to work out with everybody. It's just some of the boxing guys, but I go down in the lunchroom and get to eat lunch with my crew, and that means the world to me. One, that they would want to sit down and eat with me, but two, just to carve out quality time. Hey man, what's going on in your life? Are you good? Do you need anything? And it's just having that support system is fucking awesome. With having a good crew. People always, we have a lot of famous people come in here, and do tours, and these guys used to get, and girls used to get starstruck. And I'm like, guys, you're just as good as them. We all breathe the same air. Like, we're all built, the same way. We may look and act different, but we're all the same person. And so it's pretty cool for them to get to see the celebrity style, that comes in here. But it's also cool to see them not get all freaked out by it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because people can cave pretty easy when somebody walks in that's they've looked up to for a while.
Starstruck. Yeah, I did that. I went to the Onnit gym back in like 2015, and there was some NFL player there, and everyone was like, "Ooh!" And the owner, Aubrey Marcus, was there.
Yeah, I built a food truck for Aubrey.
Nice. Yeah, we've been in the peripheral of Onnit since its inception. It all kind of started with like Joe Rogan, and I was a fan of listening to the podcast, heard him on there, and went and joined the gym. And I really admired what he was doing, and still to this day they're killing it. So
they're killing it. And Joe Rogan moved to Austin.
I know.
We're on its headquarters.
Yep. And that whole scene is blowing up there in Austin.
I grew up in Georgetown, right down the street in Austin. And I remember there was county roads in high school that we used to drink beer on down Leander Road up into Liberty Hill and all that area. Fuck, now it's all neighborhoods. It's all Austin now.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. I mean, Austin's like California now.
Last time I went there, it was like every restaurant we went to eat food for lunch was like a line out the door. I was like, fuck, this is insane. It's too busy.
You have to plan your day around traffic in Austin. My buddy's a big residential realtor there. And he's like, dude, I do showings around times that I know there will be no traffic. If not, I'm going to spend the majority of my time in my car,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm going to sit this one out. I'll visit when Rogan invites me. I'll come say hi. And we sponsor a lot of the comedians like Tim Dillon. A lot of them are moving there, and so maybe I'll get invited to a party or something. LOL.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. I've never met him in person, but I heard he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's like, I'm wearing a Joe Rogan or ape higher primate shirt. He did a lot for a lot of people, man. A lot of men, young men.
He did, and he's kept true to who he is and what his beliefs are. It's different. Like with me being where I'm at on TV, I can't talk about sex, politics, and religion, and I'm cool with that because I don't like addressing that because you're going to offend somebody anyway. But I think that Joe's done a very good job just being true to who he is, being open about pot, being open about other things, because that's who he truly is.
Yeah, I smoke weed pretty much every day.
I mean, you got to.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was like,
I mean, I can tell you, there's so many people out there that smoke pot that will never admit to doing it. man, when I got sick in 2018, I almost died. I got poisoned in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, and then fought for my life there, got back to the States, contracted C. diff, and couldn't get through it. The anxiety, the depression, my body was so weak that I couldn't hold anything down. Anyway, long story short, I had to end up having a full stool transplant to survive. But one of the things that got me through the nights was smoking marijuana.
Hell yeah.
And it's just it is. I don't allow anything to affect the way that I operate or anything like that. But during those times, I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that once they legalize it everywhere, you're going to see so many different cures for things come from one of the extraction of one of those plants, whether it's male or female.
100%. Yeah, I'm a big advocate. That's why I live in Colorado, and that's why I left.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that's why you're in Colorado.
It literally is why I've been in Colorado, because I was in Texas and I got arrested like 5 times, and I'm just like, okay.
I think it's coming fairly soon in Texas, sooner than most people think. They did the hemp, now the Delta 8. Yep. Now it's coming, progressing in that way. I mean, fuck. I mean, it's how we're going to pay off all of our debt. You got to be able to tax something. And what would you sell the most of? It would be marijuana. And I think it will cut down crime rates and all kinds of things.
I'm a big advocate. I was literally passing out. I went around in 2015, like handing out like getting signatures to pass it to become legalized in Colorado. That's cool. I was in there, but I don't really advocate it. Like, you should smoke weed. I don't like that. But if you need something, it's definitely a valuable kind of medicine, if you will.
It's changed a lot of people's lives in a positive way. I can say it. I mean, it's just it's hard to me to, understand why you can, and I'll drink and, have drinks and everything like that, but how that's any different than smoking a doobie or hitting a pen that, is, of extracted marijuana or just something like that. I mean, what is the difference? I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's actually, drinking is actually worse.
Exactly. It's just an absurd policy, and everyone's coming around to it. And we just got to give it a little bit more time, because if
all the politicians got to find out how they can make money on it before they're going to legalize. Yeah. You know exactly what it is. Yep.
So yeah, that's it. You just have to wait for them to see the dollar bill signs. So we're gonna wrap it up here. I know you're super busy. Let's see. Oh, the movie though. You have a movie coming out or something. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We got involved in the movie called Monsters through my buddy Sean Riley, and it's coming out soon. You'll start seeing some of the press decks come out. They kind of gave up. It went out a little too early in Berlin. It's got some good traction, but yeah, over the next couple of months, you'll start seeing the marketing materials come out for that. It's a very powerful movie with Christina Ricci in it. It's going to be awesome.
Christina Ricci, she's the Addams Family and all those.
Shot during the middle of a pandemic, so it'll be cool.
Awesome. Well, I'm very excited.
And then Brian Ramirez, who runs our production of entertainment, we got some other stuff. We're about to start kicking off some other movies pretty soon, so it's going to be a good year. Into this year and into 2022, we got some exciting stuff.
How cool is it? You're doing so well, you can make movies.
No, I mean, well, let's just hope they're profitable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They will, because Brian's the best in the business. I mean, he did Line of Duty back in the day. He's very good at controlling budgets and cost of shooting. So we'll be fine.
I might have to talk to you about that, because my team and I are actually humoring the idea of making a movie, because we shot one scene from a movie. And then my brother it went well. And my brother was like, we only have to shoot like 30 more of those, and we have a movie, like 30 scenes or whatever.
Well, if you want to get down, let me know. We can do it together. Oh, yeah. We're gonna look at doing some stuff. So look up Brian Ramirez. He's the best in the business. One of the coolest things about him is, he had 5 other movies in line, but his wife got diagnosed with cancer, and she fought leukemia, and she was actually on her deathbed. So he moved out of LA back to be with her, and now is with us. And she survived. She's a badass. She's rocking in boxing and shit like that. So look it up. It's a cool story.
I love to hear that. I love a survival story. That's beautiful. And this whole podcast has been great. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an honor. I'm glad we finally connected. Definitely, we're like brothers.
Yeah, we're the exact person. I swear. I mean, I look forward to getting you down to San Antonio. Let me know when you're in town. I'll scoop you up from the airport. But it's an honor being on the podcast. Please stay true to who you are. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because you're helping a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Provide an opportunity. Great shit.
It's a pleasure, and you're doing the same thing.
I'm here if you need anything.
All right, brother.